It's time to stick your digit in the dial and ring 388-1255 now.
Very much so, and we are taking your calls. Brian, how does that one rate with the ones you've written for the new LP? Do you think you'll be doing the new material on stage as successfully?
Some of it definitely will be done on stage, yeah. Some of it's going to lend itself quite easily, I think. How does the songs rate as compared to that? I think all the stuff on the new album is the best we've done, really. I wouldn't say it if I don't think it. I think really the songs are the best we've done. And it's always the case that sometimes the live work precedes and sometimes it trails behind what we do on the album. The solo in that start was sort of pretty elementary in those days, and it was just sort of one repeat. And that got developed to a much more sophisticated stage on stage. Dear, this is not very good, is it?
It's not. But when you first did that, did you think people would go as wild as they did? I mean, at the Rainbow...
Did they go wild? Well, I don't know. It started off as an experiment, and I'd been doing that sort of solo in another number, which was Son and Daughter, long before we put it on the album. But in a sense, with things like that, which are essentially a live thing, you just put a kind of taster on the album. And there's something similar on the new album in a song called White Man, which is working with a longer delay, and I've fiddled around with that before, and I think that will sort of take shape after we get back on tour, which we're looking forward to very much.
You're not alone in that. Roger, when Brian first wrote that, was it an easy one for you to feel happy with? I mean, when he came with the song Brighton Rock, did you think, oh...
No, it was a fairly hard one for me, because it was a very fast, fairly intricate backing track. And but I don't know, we were going to put it on the second album, and then we found we had enough material for the second album, so it ended up on Sheer Heart Attack, the third album. Well, I don't know, I quite like it now. We didn't do it on stage for quite a while afterwards.
Strangely enough, we didn't think we could do the main part of the song on stage, because it's got quite a lot on it on the album, a lot of overdubs and stuff, but strangely enough, it just sort of, it's one of those things, if you try hard enough, it comes, you know. And the excitement sort of makes up for the things which aren't there.
Well, the calls are coming in. We'll take the calls in just a moment. But next on Hullabaloo, it's nostalgia for all Queen fans, and indeed, Brian and Roger.
I think it was done accessibly. It was done in a way which people could listen to quite easily without any sort of strain. And at the same time, it had our sort of bite underneath it. It had our heaviness lurking somewhere underneath it. And it was a good time for the band as well. We'd just been on tour and people knew about us. So it was just the right thing at the right time, I think.
Suddenly they sort of came to hear Killer Queen in the stage shows. But I mean, some of the other songs that we do are sort of more favourites, like Liar and Keep Yourself Alive and things. The kind of following that we built up because of our live shows, and they come to sort of see us on that sort of level, the earlier songs, the sort of live. But Killer Queen, I mean, I seem to remember that when we sort of introduce it, they go wild, and then we only do about a verse and a sort of chorus of it. It's the way we try and sort of put ourselves across. I mean, we don't sort of try and reproduce what we do in studios on the shows. It's just another sort of facet of us, actually.
I know everybody gets very embarrassed if you go back to the school days, but you're quite famous for your qualifications, so to speak. Can we hear where you went to school?
I went to, when I was a lad, I went to school at Hampton Grammar School, Middlesex, and I went to Imperial College, London, for a long, long time. So I'm very old. I'm about 43.
Rubbish. What were you reading at London?
I did a physics degree and then about 5 years of astronomy, research in astronomy.
This is Roger, and I was reading Superman comics most of the time. But I started out doing dentistry, and I discovered I hated cutting up dead bodies. So I moved to biology, and I actually managed to struggle through a degree in biology. But really, I didn't intend at any time using it, because I couldn't bear the thought of being stuck in a laboratory for the rest of my life. But I was interested, and it was interesting up to a point.
And finally, Freddie, what about you?
Well, I went through sort of art college. I went to Ealing College of Art and did a sort of graphics and illustrating course for about 3.5 years, and I got my diploma in that. And that's it. While we were at sort of these various colleges, we were sort of, we were friends. I think, Roger and I, yes, Roger and I sort of shared a flat in Barnes, and so did Brian eventually. And we sort of met up, and as we were in various other groups, sort of semi-pro. And it so happened that the group that these two were in, Brian and Roger, called Smile, happened to break up, and, I saw an opportunity to sort of team up with them. And our ideas sort of seemed to blend, and we thought it'd be a wowie, when we sort of put it together. And here we are. We formed Queen about 4 years ago.
I suppose in some ways we did from the first react against being manipulated, which was why we went through a long period of sorting things out. We didn't sort of sign with the first shark that finned its way along the road. But we sort of set ourselves up fairly well, I think, and reasonably intelligent. We did used to watch groups. We had very definite ideas on who we liked. I think, in a sense, we all liked the Beatles, I think. I think we all liked, especially Jimi Hendrix.
Our audience is very strange. We're still trying to work out what it is ourselves, really. It's very mixed, I know that. If you looked at the Rainbow audiences particularly, it was anyone from about 18 to literally about 60, I think.
Younger than 18. No.
Perhaps younger than 18, yeah. But it's, 15 maybe. I think they all like us for different reasons, which we like, really. The younger people like us because it's an exciting act, and that's part of what we're about. We're out to make an impact and give people the kind of thrill that you get from seeing a really hard live act on stage. And a lot of other people like us because of the melody and harmony, etc., on the records, which they come to see us on stage. Yeah, we get a lot of mums and dads as well who say, "Oh yes, you've made us realise that pop music isn't all this, that, and the other," which is nice.
That's one of the things that Killer Queen did, actually. That seemed to bring us on the last English tour. It seemed to bring the odd older people in. I mean older. There's a surprising amount of sort of even middle-aged married couples and things.
I think
not the majority, but
sort of daughters were dragging their mums and dads over as well. So you'd see rows and rows of sort of girls and boys, and then the mums and dads sitting along with them. And that's great. That's great. I think it's like Brian says, we haven't quite worked out who. You couldn't label it at all. It is a very sort of wide cross-section.
Okay, now I'd like you to listen to our latest piece of fabness on 45. It's called Now I'm Here.
Well, as you gathered, that's the first interview we did with Queen here on Capitol. I found it interesting, did you?
Yeah. Do you feel like part of the rock establishment now, Mr. May?
It makes me realise how old we are.
Do you think...
Sort of fun. I know Miss Norden has been very naughty because she's cut out all her bits and left all our bits in.
Mine were less interesting. What about the
yes.
label category? I think that's still true.
Queen. Yeah,
Queen,
I wasn't listening.
You said you can't label yourselves. You do kind of stretch a few parameters and do different things. I think that's still true. People call you a rock group, but not hard rock or soft rock, whatever you fancy to do at the time of doing the LP.
Must rush out and stretch a parameter.
Yes. Yeah, we do that.
Yeah. Yes.
Right, I'm giving up now.
You're quite right.
It's over to the 194 callers, and Gary, can you hear us on Hullabaloo? Would you like to talk to Brian and Roger?
Hello.
Hello, Gary.
Oh, Gary?
Hello. I was reading the paper the other day, and it said under the Marx Brothers that some of their films, one of them was called Night of the Opera, and the other was At the Races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondered, if your LP was influenced the title by that.
No.
No,
No.
not at all, no.
Yes, actually it was. It's very strange how it happened, actually, because A Night at the Opera fitted the other one so well. We've been watching A Night at the Opera, and it fitted the whole way that album grew up. And when we came to title this one, the first thing that came into our heads was A Day at the Races, because, A Day at the Races was, as Roger will tell you.
Yeah. It was the next film that the Marx Brothers made. And they were possibly the two most successful films they ever made. I'm not quite sure about that. But there are a lot of parallels in the fact that they were also very expensive to make, took a lot out of the Marx Brothers, and took a lot of time and effort. And we found a lot of sort of parallels there.
Groucho had a moustache.
Very similar parallel, seeing as none of us have moustaches.
Well done, Gary.
Kind of, yeah. In a way, it's not a silly question because that was a very obvious title, and we sort of rejected it first of all. And strangely enough, it leaked to the press, and having done that, we thought, well, maybe we're committed to it now. And then the more we thought about it, in the meantime, we thought of loads of other titles, and we thought, well, maybe the most obvious one is the right one.
Because the two albums do go together, really. They're sort of a twin set, you know.
To be released in years to come as a double album set.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I don't know about
In
that.
platinum boxes.
All right, we'll move on because there's a lot of calls. Deborah,
Thanks, Gary.
would you like to put your call to Queen?
Hello, Deborah.
No, I really like your LP. I think it's really good.
Thank you.
Great.
I wondered which track was most difficult to record.
You mean the new one?
Yeah, the new one.
Which was the most difficult
To say, there was a lot of...
Actually, I think that, strangely enough, I think the one they got queued up on the turntable, Tie Your Mother Down. It's like a straight boogie track, really. It's sort of bang your head against the wall type track. And for some reason, we did found a little bit of difficulty in recording it. Yes.
Yeah, it's strange that the simplest things are often the hardest to get on disc, probably. I mean, that's the kind of thing which lends itself ideally to live. But to get anything which gets you out of your seat onto record is not very easy, really. I don't really know if we've done it or not, but that's the way it is. Well, we have, yeah.
Well, as you said, we've got it queued up, so to illustrate a point,
What
we
are your
better
seats?
play it.
It's for Deborah.
And a soft sound for you on a Sunday afternoon, written by our studio guest, Brian May. In a moment, the G-Band live, and a chance for Brian to become a DJ and do a birthday dedication. And the calls. Mike, can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Hi. I'm particularly interested in your style of writing. Do you find you have to think hard from scratch when it comes to writing, or are you generally inspired?
Is this me or all of us, really? Both of us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're all very different. I think it's true to say that none of us really write on the road, although we might get a few ideas on the road. When we get back and we routine for an album, most of the songs come out then. I personally do find it very hard. I'm not really a ready songwriter by any means, and a few things come out. And I find that the hardest thing is to actually complete it, to do the last few words, you know, or the last little bit of arrangement. Roger will be another story. So.
Yeah, I have to wait till sort of ideas come, and I've usually forgotten them by the time I get them down on paper or tape. So I probably average less songs a year than, or definitely Freddie or Brian.
Roger, whilst we're on the subject of songwriting, what about the song on the earlier LP about the car? Was that because you were a car fanatic?
Well, I like them, yeah, they're quite nice, you know, I don't mind a few every now and then. But that was sort of semi-tongue-in-cheek, that song, really. Don't know how, you know, it gave me a lot of laughs writing it and recording it and singing it, etc. I don't know, I think they're probably on a couple of different levels you can take it. Just depends how you want to take it, really, I think.
Does that answer the question, Mike?
Yeah, thanks very much.
Great, all the best.
Right, moving on now. Paul, would you like to pose a question to the double duo?
Hello?
Hello, Paul.
Separately, which is your favourite of all your own tracks and works and that?
It's difficult.
Yeah, it's very hard, because we try and sort of cover a lot of different styles, I suppose, a lot of different moods. I think personally, one of my favourites is March of the Black Queen on the second album, which is going back quite a long way. Do you know that one?
No.
Oh, you must rush out and buy it now. it's spiffing. But I don't know, Brian's
Yeah, a
got
lot
different favourite.
of my favourite stuff is on that second album, actually, yeah. It's hard to pin it down any further than that.
You can never judge about a new album either, because you get so sick of hearing it, and you get too close to it, and you can't judge it properly, you know. You have to sit back about a year later and listen to it and think, yeah, not bad.
We'll continue picking Roger and Brian's brain via the phones in just a moment. Queen have taken a day off from the races to be on Hullabaloo. Tony, it's over to you.
Good evening, Maggie. I'd like to ask Roger and Brian about the synthetic brass on Rendezvous on Night at the Opera. Can you tell us how this was done?
Roger can tell you that.
Roger.
Yeah, it was done by mouth, actually. And using the equalization controls on console in the studio, really. It was very silly. Freddie and I, one afternoon in a studio in East London, sitting down and using sort of coal buckets and things, and sort of singing into them and doing sort of trombones and speeded up muted trumpet sounds. And it was all just built up like that, just by mouth. I think Freddie did the sort of clarinet, the woodwind type stuff, and I did all the brass stuff. So, you know, that sort of thing, but treated, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It was all completely fake. And the tap dancing bit was a thimble on the control desk.
Graphic equalisation and coal buckets.
Not really graphic equalisation, just very sophisticated tone controls, really. I suppose you'd call them.
Same kind of thing.
Same kind of thing, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Pleasure.
It's nice. A lot of people don't notice that kind of thing. It's nice when somebody hears something like that. Here it goes.
Sorry.
We've got a load of detectives out there, actually. Heather, it's up to you now. Have you got a question?
Hello, I saw you at Hyde Park.
Good.
Concert, lovely.
Good. It was cut a bit short, actually.
Oh, it's a shame.
Yeah, we were forced off the stage.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Loved every minute of it, but
Good.
In the Queen magazine Autumn, Roger, you said that there was a TV film and it was going to be put out. Do you know when?
No, we don't. We haven't really sort of done it much with it yet. We've made a film of the new single.
You have?
Yeah, we were very pleased with that. But unfortunately, some of the powers that be haven't put it on TV yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We're looking forward to seeing it on the box. We're very proud of the film. We spent a lot of work on it, a lot of money, and I don't know. Yeah, we will be doing a film at some point of Hyde Park, as it was filmed, and it was recorded, and Capital Radio recorded it, I believe.
I hope so. Heather, I'm going to ask you a question now. Before we were talking about Queen being versatile and being a difficult group to label. Can you analyse why you like them, why you enjoyed their concert?
Well, they're just so alive. I like the music because it is so versatile. I think I like the earlier stuff. I think I like that most.
Oh, good, that's nice.
I think Queen 2 is probably my favourite LP.
Great, we'll pay you later.
Many thanks, Heather. We'll move on because there's lots of calls to get through. Hayley, are you there? From Heather to Hayley. The H's are having a day today. Heather? Hayley.
Hello, Brian.
Hello?
On the album Sheer Heart Attack, it reads Genuine George Formby. How did this come into your possession?
Through my father.
All right.
He used to play ukulele and still does pretty well. And it is a genuine George Formby ukulele. It says George Formby, there's a little picture of him at the top. You know who George Formby is? Yeah.
Didn't
very
actually
good.
belong to him, did it?
Yeah, and when will you next be touring?
I'm not saying the ukulele actually belonged to George Formby. It was made in that style, you know, in a similar way to you used to get sort of Tommy.
I think he was in on a cut of it.
Sorry, what was the question? I've forgotten.
When will you next be touring?
This country, not for a while. We're going to America for about 3 months in January, and after that, it's anybody's guess. So, but we're hoping to do an English tour soon. British tour, I should say.
And a last question. Do you receive most of your fan mail?
Yes.
Yes.
And we see lots of it.
Oh, okay then.
Great. It's very hard to get round to answering it.
Yeah.
You got your money's worth, Hayley. I think we'll move
Thanks a lot.
rapidly on. Thank you. And Jill, it's over to you.
Hello.
Hello, Jill.
Could I talk to Brian, please?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Sniff.
Right, I was wondering actually how you fixed her after the show. No, but seriously. Seriously, could you tell me, you know when you recorded Let
I like it.
Together,
Yes.
did you find the Japanese bit a bit hard?
Ah,
Hard to record, or did you go right into it?
we have some good Japanese friends. Our interpreter when we were in Japan, called Chika, helped me with the words when we were there. That was one of the few things which actually did get done on tour.
Right.
And she taught me how to pronounce the words. I just wrote the English and she translated it roughly, and we worked on it until it sounded right.
All right. Is there any chance you'll be doing any Christmas gigs?
No, unfortunately not. We're busy with all kinds of things at the moment. We'd love to, but it takes such a lot to set up to play, you know. What we're doing now is rehearsing and getting ready for America.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to, seeing you again, sort of thing.
Yeah, we'll be back soon.
Can you wish the others Merry Christmas for us?
I will.
Kathy.
Thank you.
Jill, a date to pencil in the diary. On December the 28th, I think it is, there is a 5-hour show which is called the Capital Calendar, which will be a retrospective of 1976, and there will be plenty of Queen and Queen interviews in it. So if they won't be giving us a show, we will have them on radio. More calls in a moment. We've invited Roger and Brian into the studio. As you know, if you've been listening, the calls have been coming in. I'm not going to talk anymore, so Steve, hello. Stephen?
Hello, Roger.
Hello, Stephen.
I was listening to Drowse and I thought it was really brilliant. Can you tell me what it's about?
Oh, thanks. Congratulations, you're the first. What it's about? Oh, God. I never really know afterwards. It's about sort of somebody dozing off and just sort of things going through his head, I think mainly. It's sort of remembering back to his long-lost youth. And sort of nostalgically, if you see what I mean.
Will you be singing it in concert?
I don't know yet, actually. We haven't done rehearsals for the next tour yet.
Because I'd like to see you sing it, because when I went to another concert I was looking forward to I'm in Love with My Car.
Yes. So was I. I don't know, actually. I really don't know whether I'll be singing it live. It would be nice to sing lead on one, possibly. But it's very awkward being a drummer, you know, because most of the time you're stuck at the back. We do 39 now. And I come to the front, sing the odd harmony, and bang the odd thing. But, yeah, it would be nice.
We'll have to ask his agent if he can borrow him for 5 minutes from the drums, I think.
You want extra money, though, is the trouble.
That's the problem.
Double time, that is.
Christine, what would you like to know?
Hello, Brian.
Hello, Christine.
Lovely to speak to you. I'd like to know what a plastic piano is.
A plastic piano is a very strange little keyboard. It's made by Vox, actually, which they lent us, and I was fiddling around on, and from fiddling around on it came the basic idea of the verse for that song. When we came to record it, it was very difficult, and there's not very you can just hear it on the track beneath the ordinary piano. It sort of goes ding dong ding.
It sounds
very
quietly.
Plastic. It sounds extremely plastic, yeah.
Thank you, Christine. We'll move on quickly because time's running out. Russell, it's your turn.
Yep. Hello, I'm an Australian and I'm studying at university in Australia and I have another friend who's...
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're both very interested in music and we've got the conflict of, you know, when to give up university and do music. I want
Right.
how much sort of trauma you went through while you're at university, you know, and how hard the change was. This friend of mine's always getting super depressed.
Well, he doesn't know whether to go onto the into the music or...
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, right, or stay at university, yeah.
Before you did anything.
Well, I don't know. Well, I think we had differing problems. I think, personally, this is Roger. Yeah, personally, I didn't have any difficulty giving up the idea of...
You were doing dentistry, were you?
No, I was doing biology at the time.
Dentistry and biology.
Yeah. But I couldn't... Well, I didn't really want to do that. And I'd always wanted to be a musician full-time. I'd been one sort of semi-professionally for about, quite a long time.
Yeah.
I think Brian was more involved in his college.
Yeah, I had a lot of difficulty making the decision, but it happened gradually, and I suppose I was lucky in that I was able to do it gradually. It's just that the music took up more and more time.
Yeah.
So at the time of making the first album, I was still very much involved in astronomy, about, sort of 60% of the time, I suppose, and then gradually the time I could spend on writing up as I was doing then just got eroded away, and it worked out that it was time to go with the group full-time. I really couldn't advise anyone on that. It's so hard.
Yeah, do what you're happiest doing, Oliver.
Yeah, fair enough.
But when it finally came to it, I think there was probably a moment, and I thought the opportunity's there to be a musician, and if I don't take it now, I'm not going to be able to take it in 10 years' time, so I'm going to take it now.
Yeah, we can always go back to astronomy.
Well, maybe I can, maybe I can't, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, Russell, with the decision. We must rush on and talk very briefly and lastly to Vivian. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Vivian.
Hello, Brian and Roger. I'd like to know in which order you lay down the tracks on your albums. Do you in fact make something like a slave track that doesn't appear on the record?
No.
No, usually the song is pretty much worked out when we go in the studio, apart from some final details. And And what we do is lay down what's called a backing track, and I should be hurrying up, which is usually bass and drums and either piano or guitar, depending on how it's written.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the stuff goes on top of that. And that's usually the way we do it.
Overdubs, then usually vocals almost last, then tiny little overdubs, and then mixing. And then there it is, on wax.
I see. Okay, thanks very much. Congratulations on your new album. Not that we can buy it down here. There aren't any in the shops.
Right, I shall talk to you, Mike.
Thank you.
Many thanks for your call, Vivian. Before you leave us, and we're going to go out with Drowse, how will you look back at 1976? Has it been a very happy year for you?
Well, the bank manager's happy. Yeah, it's been very up and down. It's been a lot of hard work. But, I mean, obviously it's been great because of the sort of level of success we've achieved. We've consolidated things sort of right around the world, which is very satisfying. Yeah, it's been a good year, hasn't it?
Been a good year. I don't feel totally happy, really.
We don't go around
to be
ecstatic
perfectly
all the
honest.
time, no.
There's so much to do and not enough time to do it, and yeah, I'm happy.
More Hyde Parks, do you think, in 77 with a bit of luck?
It would be nice. It was a headache to put on.
Oh, it was a headache.
Because of all the permission, etc., you know, and all the trouble with all the authorities, etc. But, yeah, it would be great to do more large concerts on that scale, if they can be done properly.
I don't think we'll be able to do Hyde Park again because of the politics involved, but something like it we'd love
I'd
to
like to
do.
play Wimbledon, actually.
Well, many thanks for coming in, as I said. Many thanks to all of you who have phoned in. May we wish you Happy Christmas from Capital, and probably you'd like to wish the listeners.
And to all your listeners.
Have a good time in 77, too.
And Stephen, this one's for you.